Welcome back to We Need to Talk, everybody. Of course, this is the show that looks at football on the internet over the past few days. A few days that's seen Harry Redknapp pretty shocked by Ruben Loftus-Cheek's wage.
A slight stumbling block.
Yes.
150 grand a week.
You can imagine
He played. How many games he played at Chelsea? I mean, it's scary, Jim, isn't it?
Patrice Evra yet again losing his cool with Manchester United.
But it's just about every year is the same story. And I feel now what all the United fans right now. That's why I prefer even to comment different game than the United game if I keep working for
Well, and then former Manchester United player Mark Bosnich pretty much give the same reaction we all did after that Tottenham game.
What is your reaction to that scoreline yesterday?
Anyway, today we need to talk about the summer transfer window. Today we need to rank returns. That sounds so wrong, by the way. I don't know why I've written that in. Today I'm going to be ranking every Premier League club's summer business on a scale of 1 to 5. You know the score by now, no messing about. Let me know your tier list of summer transfer windows in the comments right now. Who's had the best? Who's had the worst? Comment, please, because it helps us. Kicking us off in alphabetical order then, we've got Arsenal, I think firmly saved on deadline day, if I'm totally honest, by that fantastic signing of Thomas Partey. Willian, pretty okay signing. Gabriel could be a big hit, not really too sure about him, but I think Aubameyang's new contract is the key for me here. Combine Aubameyang's new contract with the Thomas Partey signing, and you've got a solid tier 2 summer window. Aston Villa next then, one of the best windows in the league, one of Villa's best in recent memory. I think Ollie Watkins is a brilliant signing, some player, super dynamic, holds the ball up brilliantly. Martinez looks a good signing. I think Bertrand Traore could be a hit or a miss. Ross Barkley will end up being a good signing. Matty Cash looks a good signing. Bit like Arsenal as well. Jack Grealish's new deal has to be taken into account. I think this is one of the best summers in the league. Dean Smith's had a worldie tier 1. As for Brighton, Lallana and Veltman, I think, are probably positive depth additions. I don't really know too much about Zakiri and Van Heck. Keeping hold of Graham Potter, obviously key. And Ben White signing a new deal and not going to Leeds is massive for them. Overall, though, still a little bit sort of... So tier 4, tier 3, tier 4, tier 3. I'll be kind because of the Ben White move and I'll put them in tier 3. Burnley. Really poor window. Very poor window for Burnley. I think just Dale Stephens arriving. Of course, the Championship window to Premier League is still open for another 2 weeks, so they might well do some more business from the EFL. Wanted Harry Wilson. That move collapsed. They did manage to keep Tarkowski, but overall, one signing. Dale Stephens. Tier 5. Chelsea are up next. I'm not going to speak too much about Chelsea because they're the league's highest spenders. We've spoken about them plenty of times in the past. The best window of any Premier League side, obviously tier 1. Crystal Palace, here's an interesting one because I think Eze is a fantastic signing. I'm not too sure about his role. He's definitely better central than he is out wide, and he's currently playing out wide under Hodgson. I think Batshuayi, though, is a risk. They needed a striker who's going to score goals. Is Mishi that guy? I don't know. They did keep hold of Zaha. Not much other business, though, of note. I think this could be a tier 4 selection. Everton. I think this is the second best window behind Chelsea of any team in the Premier League. Signed a whole new midfield for £45 million. All of them really good players as well. James Rodriguez cost nothing. One of England's most talented young centre-backs in Ben Godfrey arriving for less than £25 million. Yeah, it's obviously a tier 1 summer window. Ancelotti. Superb. Fulham up next, left a horrible amount of business until deadline day. You know, always the badly run clubs leave it till deadline day. They had so many moves collapse as well. Baumgartel collapsed on deadline day. Tony Khan said, I think in that tweet, 4 others had collapsed as well. Anderson, he is a big old risk, had a horrible time in France. Previous to that, he was alright though. Tosin coming out of Manchester City, totally unproven. Loftus-Cheek is a good signing. Lookman is a good signing. But overall, they had to improve the defence, notably. And I don't think they have. They left the business so late. Tier 5. Yeah, sorry Tony, it's tier 5. Leeds up next. Spent nearly £100 million in this window. I think Rodrigo is a bit of a risk at that fee, but probably worth it. Helder Costa obviously had to come back in. I like the signing of Koch as well. Don't know why I said it like that. I'm not sure about the Rafinha lad coming out of Rennes. If you guys at home know anything more about him, let me know in the comments below. But at £20 million, it seems like quite a lot of money to spend. But overall, do you know, I just trust Marcelo Bielsa with all these signings. They all feel like Marcelo Bielsa has hand-selected them to fit into this Leeds team. Not quite tier 1, I don't think, alongside the likes of Everton and Chelsea. But yeah, solid tier 2. Leicester, then. Now, biggest positives, in my opinion, keeping James Maddison, keeping Wilfred and Ndidi. Just 3 major additions. I think Castagna at fullback looks like a very good signing. And I know they've lost Ben Chilwell, maybe a little bit too cheap as well, which I've got to take into account here. But Cengiz Under, I think, could be a risk coming out of Roma. Wesley Fofana, another big risk at £30 million, but they did need a centre-back. Johnny Evans is ageing rapidly. This is just a middle-of-the-park summer, really, isn't it? It's tier 3. Liverpool, incredible sellers. Best in the league at selling. Some of the fees they've got this summer is just unbelievable. I think Thiago alone would have put them in category 2 for me here. I think Jota is a smart addition as well. If they'd got a centre-back in, I'd have put them tier 1. Because I do still feel like they're one centre-back light in that squad. I know Fabinho can play there as well. But yeah, tier 2 for Liverpool. Manchester City, this is a really difficult one. Struggles all over the park a little bit for me here. I think the losses of Sane and David Silva are huge, and they haven't really replaced either of them. Ferran Torres, does he do that job of Leroy Sane? Not convinced. I think Phil Foden has a lot of pressure on his shoulders this summer. It's really surprised as well they didn't sign a new left-back. Benjamin Mendy, not quite of the calibre of a league-winning team, I don't think, anymore. Finally got that centre-back in. Finally in Ruben Dias, but seems like a big old overpayment at £65 million. Failed to shift Eric Garcia as well. Now he's going to leave on a free when he can sign that pre-contract with Barcelona in January. For what they should be doing. Tier 4 or tier 3, tier 4 or tier 3. I'll go tier 3, being very kind. Manchester United up next. Horrific window, one of the worst I can ever remember. Needed a left back, we got Telles. Okay, don't really know too much about him, never seen him play. Needed a centre back, got nobody. Needed a defensive midfielder, got nobody. Needed a right winger, got nobody. Signed a 33-year-old striker on deadline day that's not played in 7 months and has been available all summer. Donny van der Beek, yeah, he's okay. Doesn't really improve our first 11 though. The Sancho pursuit was an absolute comedy, and we couldn't sell any of our deadwood players. I mean, Sergio Romero's wife was taken to Twitter yesterday to batter Ed Woodward. That's the state of the club. If we had a tier 6, I would be putting us in tier 6, but I have to put us in tier 5. I don't want to judge the likes of Diallo and Palestri though, because, you know, they might end up being really good players, but for the here and now, we just haven't improved the team. Newcastle, tough one this, because, you know, I think Callum Wilson is a brilliant signing if they can keep him fit. I genuinely believe he's a 10 to 15 goal a season striker every year. I think Jamal Lewis is a very solid addition. I think Ryan Fraser on a free is a brilliant signing. Jeff Hendrick, laugh at me all you want, nothing flashy. I think I said earlier in the summer he'd be a good signing for Newcastle, and he will be. Tier 3. Sheffield United is another tough one, a bit like Newcastle. I think Ryan Brewster is a good signing, but at £23.5 million, can I see him getting the goals Sheffield United need this season? Not really. I don't know whether I can see him getting to 10 to 15. I think Ramsdale's a big fee as well for a player they sold for £1 million. The rest of the summer feels distinctly Championship to me. I think Sheffield United might be in a bit of trouble this season. I think they're just scraping into tier 4. Not the biggest fan. As for Southampton, I think Diallo and Salisu are going to be very good signings for the club. I think Walker-Peters will be consistent, as he already has shown for the Saints. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg leaving, not amazing, but was running his contract down anyway, wasn't he? Oh, there's still so much pressure on Danny Ings, isn't there? Because Che Adams just can't score a goal. Yeah, I'll go for tier 4. Tottenham Hotspur, what a window. Big question for me, though. Why didn't they just back Pochettino like this? They've backed Jose like it. Why didn't they back Poch? Nevertheless, you know, Bale is a huge signing in terms of club momentum. I think even if he doesn't perform that well on the pitch, the lift it's given the club is worth the loan alone. I actually think Højbjerg, Doherty and Reguilon are going to be the key signings here. All of them are going to play massive roles in this team. Vinicius up front, I'm not too sure about. Again, statistically very strong in the Portuguese league, but lots of players are. Maybe one centre-back away from Tier 1? No, do you know what? F it. I think Daniel Levy's had a masterclass here, Tier 1. West Bromwich Albion are up next. They basically just re-signed the players they had last season. Definitely a stronger squad, but probably not the signings they needed to make keep them in the division. I think they've got a few sellable assets as well. When they do drop, you know, Diangana and Pereira, they can probably make some decent money on. But yeah, it's just a Tier 5 championship summer. West Ham United, another horrendous summer. Diangana's sale got them off to an absolute rotter, and I don't think they ever really recovered. Kafau, only major incoming, really. I know Souček confirmed his loan. I suppose I can count that, and I think he is a very good player. But they might end up dipping into the Championship, I think. Of course, that window's open a little bit longer, so I think they might go and get Said Benrahma. That's a move I can see happening. Nevertheless, don't matter. For right now, one signing. Lost Diangana, Tier 5. Final team in the league then, Wolves. Now, Fabio Silva is a huge fee, and it's a pretty unknown quantity, to be totally honest. Feels like a bit of a risk. Nelson Semedo, another huge fee. Bit of a risk again, given that recent Barcelona form, but I think he'll be fine. Marçal, Vitinha, and the rest of them, nothing insane. And they obviously lost Jota as well, didn't they? I just trust Nuno, though. Do you know what? Middle of the pack, Tier 3. Alright, so that was my tier list of summer transfer windows. But where would you rank your club? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button. If you want more football chat about transfers, head over to Euro Football Daily where you can watch Euro Transfer Review. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you later.